Can I now invite our next speaker? Natalia, how do you see this situation? Why do foreign investors come to Russia? What do they expect? What do they like about here?
Well, thank you very much for giving me a possibility to talk on the part of investor. Well, of course, it was very interesting to hear about the experience of Bavaria and Upper Austria and about the region's view. But right now I would like to talk on the part of investors who come and actually invest their capital. So we have invested about 220 billion euros, and I can say that when we look at different projects, for us it is very important to understand where this project will be implemented. So we look at the regions, we look at our financing structures, and I can say that right now about 50 regions of the Russian Federation receive certain support from our structures, and we are talking about different size of enterprises. So of course we have our own experience, and now I would like to speak really briefly about why different projects are being implemented at specific certain regions. And of course it was really nice to talk, it is really nice to talk after Kaluga representatives and Tatarstan, since they are not only leaders in different ratings and in attracting investment. But getting prepared to my speech, I have browsed through our projects, and I can say that Kaluga and Tatarstan are actually leaders according to the number of projects that have been supported by the European Bank in Russia. So it is very important to mention that we are financing not only Russian companies, both small and medium size, but we are also playing a very important part in supporting foreign projects. So from the point of view of foreign investors, we can talk about invest climate in Russia. Well, getting prepared for this speech, I have looked through more than 100 companies from different countries, and the companies, which projects we supported in Russia. Why Kaluga and Tatarstan, once again, why are they so attractive for our clients? Well, first of all, they are very open. They provide really huge amount of information. They are very accessible for an investor. For an investor, it is always very important to understand whom they are dealing with. So trust is, of course, very important, extremely important. Yesterday, we talked about Natalia giving his mobile phone to investors, and that is so great. This is direct connection. So this is just one of the examples of accessibility. I have my mobile phone, investors have their mobile phones. So I can just tell you that even if you do not use this direct connection, still you know that you have it. And that is so important, and the problems are getting solved even without this direct contact at all. So then another point, minimization of administrative barriers. Here I'm not talking only about making such procedures easier for investors, but we simply have to eliminate any possibilities for corruption at all. For example, if we talk about these one-window structures, we are talking about establishing these corporations, these agencies that assist investors, that they support investors at every single step of the project. That is extremely important. Then, about allocating land, about infrastructure, the experience accumulated by commissioning industrial parks is very interesting. And we can see that for investors it is very important because they receive a complex solution, a comprehensive solution to most of their problems. So they get access to different utilities, they get access to electricity, water, gas, whatever, just once, through one window structure. And once again, talking about allocation of land plots, this is a very complicated process in Russia. We are also an investor, as you know, an investor in the industrial park that Anatoly Dmitrievich was talking about. And I can say that, of course, this complex approach is very attractive for an investor. And then also another burning issue. Again, human resources, personnel. So the interviews we conduct with representatives from the business community, we have had about 5 kinds of research in here. So when they talk about barriers, by the way, I'm talking not only about foreign companies, I'm also talking about Russian companies. So one of the barriers they see is difficulties in finding professional personnel with specialized skills and expertise. And I believe this issue is more difficult to be solved if compared to corruption, if compared to bureaucracy. And once again, I would like to remember here Kaluga region, because with their huge amount of new training centers, new educational centers for different industrial sectors, pharmaceuticals, chemistry, etc., they have really wonderful experience that has to be distributed to other regions as well. Well, we have talked about legislature as well, especially investment legislature, though we should also talk about other regulatory aspects as well. All of us talk about importance of attracting private investors through public-private partnership, and I believe in this case regional legislature is as important as federal legislature. And I know that we have supported a number of projects in St. Petersburg, and the key factor was that they enforced really mature legislature in the sphere of private-public partnership. Also, another very important point I would like to cover from the point of view of investors coming to Russian Federation regions is the possibility to work with local suppliers by building the whole supply chain locally. Especially if we talk about the possibilities of future localization. So that is why when we talk about support of SMEs, well, surely here it is very important, even more important than targeted work with foreign investors coming to the region. So by generally improving business climate in the region, that is the most important thing to do. And we have talked a lot over the past year about it, and most of the regions are very actively trying to establish new measures to foster improvement of their investment climate. So once again, I would like to say that we eagerly work with regions, we eagerly work with investors, because we have real expertise that can be employed for their benefit. So thank you very much.